Engineering in Germany and in Europe, presented to you by your Unifinder and the assisted mobile app. Thank you very much for joining, folks. My name is Gesa Heim, and I hold an MSc in Higher Education and Science Management. I am specialized in the German and the European higher education sector since over 15 years. I am a senior expert in the YUF team based in Berlin, Germany. Very sunny. And I'm very, very happy to talk to you today, actually. As for the talk, first of all, I'm going to present you a little bit this great tool of your Unifinder that helps you to browse through all of the options and find the perfect university for you, followed by a second part of the presentation where we especially feature studying engineering in Europe, and a third part where I introduce you to all of the features of the assisted mobile app. Your Unifinder Europe is part of the assisted mobile app. And we are very proud to present you the whole picture of what we have to offer for you. I will hold this presentation in one part. I will take approximately 30 minutes, maybe a little bit more. Depends a little bit on how much comes to my mind while I'm talking. And then you'll have a lot of opportunity to ask all of your questions, so please be prepared. Think about your questions if you have any while I'm presenting. I will not follow the chat while I'm talking, but the tech team is there to assist you. If you have any questions, you can already put them now in the chat, and there will be, as I said, a Q&A session later. But before we have Q&A, I think I should convince you why it is a very, very good idea to study in Europe, especially in the countries of Germany, Austria, Switzerland, but also Liechtenstein, Luxembourg, and more. Unlike other European countries, these countries indeed do not distinguish between local and international students when it comes to education and tuition fees. Countries like Germany, Switzerland, Austria, but also Italy offer scholarships to students based on their financial background as well as on their educational acumen. There are hundreds of different types of scholarships available with most institutions. Let's move to Germany first, my home country, and the country where I'm based. We charge low or no, in most of the cases, no tuition fees, neither to domestic nor to international students. We offer hundreds of top-ranked universities and quite affordable living cost of approximately 850 euros a month. We have lots of study programs taught in English and great job opportunities for international students and graduates. There are high chances of settling after completing your education in Germany. We have internationally recognized degrees, and you can travel from Germany to almost all of Europe on a student visa. And we have a very diverse community, and if you like, you can really become part of it. Now let's move to our beloved neighboring countries. The beautiful country of Austria offers highly specialized study programs in the English language to international students. The quality of life is very high in Austria. I sometimes envy them a little bit for their mountains, their landscapes, their lakes, and so on. And there's a high level of social security. Universities promote student participation in sports and recreational activities. It is known to be one of the most livable countries in Europe and a quite affordable study destination, not more expensive than Germany. Now let's move to Switzerland. It is known as one of the safest countries in the world and offers excellent study programs at affordable costs to international students. So there are no tuition fees for international students, but you have to consider that the living costs might be quite a lot higher than in Germany and Austria. Sharing its borders with 5 other countries, it is a traveler's paradise. Swiss scientists are held in high demand all over the world. The country has a penchant for efficiency, which is well reflected in its transportation and all public access systems. The geography is as diverse as the people in this country, with 4 official languages: German, French, Italian, and Rito-Romanian, a small dialect spoken in a very mountainous region. Okay, these are only 3 examples of countries in the middle of Europe that offer study programs to you for free, no tuition fees. You just would have to find a way to raise the living costs. All of these offers I'm talking about are mostly on the master's level, because it is simply a lot easier to find master's programs taught in English in Austria, Germany, and Switzerland than it is to find BA programs. BA programs are in most of the European countries mostly taught in the native language of the country, which in these 3 countries would be German. Now, the challenges faced, we know there are many. Like, how can I, among this vast choice, find the right program for me? And where and how do I submit my applications? What are the documents required for this admission? And where the hell can I get all of the attestations done that this university wants from me? And what are the next steps to take before I can actually start physically to study abroad? And then I need a visa. What kind of questions will I be asked in the visa interview? And many, many, many more questions. The good news is that we can assist you. Who we are? We are a professional recruitment and higher education team, consulting team with years of experience in recruitment for the European and worldwide higher education sector. We have experience not just in recruitment, but also visa processing, accommodation assistance, and scholarships. Committed to providing you assistance from start to end in every aspect of your university admission: the application submission, coordination of the process with the university, visa support, accommodation, projects during your studies, and many more things. Now, how do we do that? We develop for you what we call the perfect triangle: predict, support, succeed. And I'm very, very proud to present this to you. What about this prediction? We predict the admission probability with our unique artificial intelligence-based app, Assisted, relying on data from previously admitted students and 500 plus universities. Support: personal guidance by our expert team through the jungle of application to universities that offer scholarships and, I can only repeat, free education. Then you succeed and enroll in one of Europe's excellent academic environments and benefit from high-quality higher education with accredited world-class universities, top-quality living conditions, and very, very positive prospects for your future career and life. Now that sounds good, right? I'll explain a little bit more the 3 steps or the 3 corners of this magic triangle. The prediction part is actually the most exciting one. We take information from fast data in our vast database and compare your profile that you type in exactly once you download the app with the variables to find a match which helps us predict your admission chances with ease. YUF structures the available information for you in clear lists where you can easily get an overview, compare, mark, and manage your favorite options, and directly ask us to assist you with your application. We are just one touch or one mouse click away from you. In a second step, we suggest options to you with a high individual chance of admission to a university that exactly matches your profile. No other platform, I guarantee this to you, or agency is able to offer this service to you. Maybe I'll give you a little bit more background information about the problem that we tackled here and that we actually solved. So you might, for example, in Germany have heard of 3 cities: Hamburg, Berlin, and Munich. This is typical. Maybe Frankfurt as well. So many students have heard only of these cities. So if they think about studying in Germany, they might apply for Frankfurt, for Berlin, and for Munich. So if all the international students do that, apparently the study spots at these universities will be very rare. And study spots in the most beautiful and nice places, smaller places in northern, southern, western, and eastern Germany will stay empty, simply because the universities are not so well known or the students don't know about the options. You can be more clever than that, because you can filter where your admission chances are high and go to a smaller city in a very nice area where you have the highest quality higher education options, but also have an almost guaranteed admission and a study spot. So this is what we can do. Our AI-powered system ensures that you find the probability of admission to your chosen university with minimum effort. You can get access to our panel of assisted experts who provide end-to-end support for all your application activities. You don't miss out on important deadlines, information, or know-how relevant to your admission process. You see, in Germany, Switzerland, Austria, but also other European countries, these deadlines are of utmost importance. You can't miss a deadline. If you miss a deadline and don't handle in the perfect application with all of the documents and papers, you are kicked out and your application will not be accepted. No chance to handle in another document. You have to wait 1 year. We don't want that. We want to guide you through this process to make sure that you have smooth procedures and all these administrative things are done for you, and you can really concentrate on the content of your study program or of your work back home while you prepare for your application. Succeed with us. Get admission to one of our top choice universities. Get assistance on visa support activities like visa submission documents, interview questions, and so on. And we assist you in getting all the information you need on accommodation facilities in your host country, of course, if you like. If you have a cousin, a brother-in-law, or whatever living in that country, that's no problem. You can, of course, look for your own accommodation, lucky you. But if you need assistance with that, we are there to help you. It doesn't stop there. We even help you find quality project and internship opportunities with top institutions and companies in Europe. That's once you're admitted to the studies. How we do that, I'll elaborate on that a bit later on. If you like, you become part of our network once you're admitted. Consult fellow students about your key to success and keep in touch with us to become part of our community. So I'll summarize this very easy your UniFinder process, your way to success and be admitted at a German, Austrian, Swiss, or other non-fee paying university. Choose your country. First of all, download the app. Register with your academic profile, a truthful profile, because if you make your profile better than it is, we won't find the right match for you. So no worries, we have options for everyone. You choose your country, choose your courses, and let us predict your admission probability. The app is for free, and this prediction tool is also for free. Then you decide whether you would like to apply to a university, and you can leave the YUF system and apply to the university on your own. Good luck. We are not going to be angry with that. We prefer, of course, if you opt in and decide that you would like to apply via YUF. Then you'll have our full support package while you apply with all of the documents, aids, and we'll check the documents, whether they have the right quality, whether they have the right attestations, and so on. And we'll make sure that they are all handled in time and completely, so that your application will in any case be valid. If we were all successful to get you admission at one or even more universities, we can offer you our service for the study visa preparation. That's optional, opt-in, opt-out. The accommodation service, also opt-in, opt-out. And our student network is there for you if you would like to try that out. That sounds quite good, right? Okay, that was the first part. So maybe you can actually try to download the app. It's for free, as I said. Unfortunately, we still have some further steps of work to do until you can download it on iPhones. So until now, it's unfortunately only available at iOS. A little bit of coffee to brace yourselves for the second part of the session, which has a special focus on studying engineering in Europe. I'm repeating again, this presentation is rather relevant for you as students if you're looking for degree programs on the master's level. There are, of course, undergraduate offers for engineering in Europe, but the features that I present here and the universities that I present here might not be completely as I present them if you look only on the bachelor level. So don't forget, we focus here on the master level. But of course, if you are only planning to study your bachelor's, we can also answer your questions after this presentation. So why should you study engineering in Europe? The educational system here is always linked to industry when it comes to engineering studies and leading to real-time exposure. You can get educated from top-ranked public universities in Europe with double degrees, scholarship, internships included in the study program, and a lot more. You will get 100% practically oriented education with a lot of hands-on experience. We can offer world-recognized degrees to you in Europe, which will open to you a variety of career opportunities, either in your home country or in many other countries, including, of course, the country of destination where you're going to study. Engineering graduates can mix and match from numerous specialist areas of engineering in a way that most interests them, giving the degree a lot of variability and flexibility. Just to inspire you a little bit how flexible you can be, from civil engineering to cultural to agricultural engineering, mining, computer science engineering, aeronautical engineering, and all kinds of other fields of study like biochemical engineering, chemical engineering, electrical specialization fields, mechanical engineering, and so on and so forth. Make sure that if you use our tool for our search, you are focused enough, but also wide enough. Because sometimes the denominations or the titles of the study programs might vary a little bit. So be sure that you put them general enough so that you can filter enough offers. A little jingle advertisement for the quality of education in Europe. World-leading universities with top facilities and with long-standing tradition, close associations with companies up to in-house activities on the campuses, creative and research centers, funding from the government, inspirational teaching by very qualified professors, and practically oriented learning, and a lot more are features of the top European universities that offer engineering studies. When it comes to accreditations, an important feature and characteristics, of course, of the study programs, the majority of the universities on our panel are triple crowned, like AACSB, AMBA, and EQUIS, or have accreditations by equally recognized bodies, ensuring that only the best-in-class education is provided to the students. The high quality of teaching and learning in Europe is constantly monitored by the European higher education area, created through the Bologna process since over 20 years, which ensures the comparability and compatibility of educational systems in Europe. Universities follow the so-called ECTS system, which makes their education recognized across the globe. Of course, you should always make sure that depending on the country where you're coming from, the degrees from the country where you're going to are recognized, right? We can also, by the way, help you with that. Our experts can help you find that out with any questions that you can't find through the browsing and through the automatic search. We are always with our back-end expert, just a mouse click or just a touch, a swipe away to answer your questions. The high quality of higher education institutions in Europe is very well known to potential employers, and almost all the companies are closely associated with the universities, which in turn complements the placement of the students during their studies. Students get ample opportunities to network and meet a whole range of interesting business people and professionals within their chosen industry, which is guaranteed to help them gain more knowledge and enhances their career prospects. Innovation and research indeed is given high priority in European countries, with universities encouraging their students to come up with new and unique ideas inspired by their course curriculum. The students get sufficient support in terms of infrastructure and funding to get an opportunity to think out of the box and develop realistic and implementable solutions instead of simple textual learning. That's really a very important characteristic of most of the European universities' engineering teaching. And now we have listed the top 10 universities for engineering for you in Europe. By the way, not all of them are free of tuition fees. Some of them are, for example, those in Switzerland and Germany, and some of them aren't, for example, those in the UK. So I actually don't need to read out the whole list for you, but I'm going to mention a few. The ETH Zurich is one of the most famous technical universities all over Europe, just as it is the École Polytechnique Fédérale de Lausanne, the Technical University of Munich in Germany, Delft University of Technology in the Netherlands, KU Leuven in Belgium. This is the Katholieke Universiteit in Leuven, Belgium. The Karolinska Technical Institute in Sweden, the RWTH in Aachen, Germany, Cambridge, Oxford, and the Imperial College, of course, in the UK. But there, of course, you would pay very high tuition fees because the UK has a completely different approach to tuition fees. We are showing this to you to show you which are the elite universities, but actually in order to get a high quality and very recognized, valid engineering education, you don't necessarily need to go to one of these top 10 universities. You can really search very openly in all of the regions according to tuition fee ranges and so on, because believe me, there are many spots, empty study spots for engineering in Germany, although they are very good programs. And this is your chance, because all of our countries here desperately look for young, clever engineers and also for students. So do take this opportunity. Don't think you have to go to the US or Canada or to Australia to become a good engineer. Here in Europe, innovation is very much fostered. There's a lot of public and state money and funds getting into this field. I hope that was quite convincing. Let me have another small sip of coffee. And then this is the last part of this presentation, to quickly guide you through the world #1 mobile app for international higher education in Europe, the Assisted Mobile App, a lot more than just another student app. Make sure you download it, as I said, if you can. If you need the iOS version, you'll just have to wait a little longer, or just simply use our website. We actually offer the same features via our website. Of course, in the app, it's a little bit more elegant and a little bit easier to connect. So basically, the app connects the user groups of students, our backend experts, and the universities, right? Students that look for overseas education, educational experts who want to offer their services to students, and the educators who can register and advertise their programs to you. The process flows very easy. As I said, you download the app, you create your profile. Please, a truthful profile. This is not Facebook and this is not Instagram. You don't need the most attractive academic profile or whatsoever. Not the point at all. The point is that we really need this data in order to have our artificial intelligence predicting where you can be admitted, where you qualify. Okay, that's the whole background of it. It's not a fashion show. You can search programs from a wide range of European universities, tuition fee paying and non-tuition fee paying. You remember I told you about YUF? This is the part where you can really target the universities that do not charge tuition fees, but that's only the case in certain countries. As the Assisted Mobile App covers the whole range of European universities. which often has advantages because other countries who do charge tuition fees might have lower GPAs, might have less language requirements, might have more varieties of English taught programs. So you can find advantages and disadvantages everywhere, of course. But I'm sure we'll have a program match for everyone. On the app, you can also join promotional videos, take part in information sessions like today, and so on and so forth, and of course share the app. The most proudly presented features of the app is the search tool, where you can clearly compare and filter your search based on country study programs, but also tuition fees, language requirements, and so on, which is normally very, very difficult if you try to filter and search across countries. You can always go, for example, to a German or an Austrian or a French website and then find all of the German universities compared, but you won't find this across many countries. So this is excellent. And our information is also structured very clear. You can compare all of these features and it's always up to date. This is almost needless to say, I guess. Next to events, we have the section about housing and accommodation, about projects and internships during your studies. Very, very interesting feature because we connect you to Europe's #1 internship portal, Praxis, only via us, with an exposure to international work environment and an opportunity to build a global career profile and much more once you are admitted to Germany. Admitted to a German university. Sorry, I just see my picture quite blurred. Sorry, guys. Might be the sunshine? I don't know what it is. Anyways, you know what I'm looking like. You can use our chats and forums, and you can, of course, also connect to an agent near you if you'd like to have personal support. Sorry, I'm really just a bit irritated. It's like a curtain that was drawn over my camera. Very, very strange. Anyways, I just wanted to tell you about the blessings of online consulting. We believe that it's now essential to be able to provide our services everywhere to you. You don't have to go physically to an agent. Just one mouse click or one fingertip away. We are here as senior experts to guide you through the European higher education sector to answer all of the questions that you might have and to resolve all the doubts that you might have. We expect a lot of users in the first year. The student community that will be connected through various partnered websites and platforms guarantees a very impressive numbers of users for the app. And the free availability of the app, coupled with the diverse set of features showcased here, makes the app an assured option for every international education pursuing student. This is at least what we would recommend to you as students. This graph on the other side shows that Europe has a big share of students that go abroad for international higher education. It used to be stronger to go to the US and to Australia, but with the recent developments and the great offer that we have in Europe, now 20% of all the international degree-seeking higher education students go to Europe. And here, if you match the continents like the best ranked universities with the share of international students that go there, Europe is even in the first place. Okay, about scholarships. I didn't talk a lot about scholarships today. What I can tell you is that scholarships in full or partial tuition fee waivers are the most common international scholarships offered by universities and are usually in the academic category. Tuition fee scholarships are the next best thing to fully funded scholarships in the sense that a good portion of your study costs is already covered. It's much better now, right? With the assisted mobile app, you can browse through a wide range of scholarship options available for different countries and locate the option that best suits your profile. And additionally, you can choose to talk to our assisted experts who are fully equipped to guide you with the procedures and to support you throughout the process. Please remember that if you need a scholarship other than the regular tuition fee waiver that, for example, German universities would offer to you, you need an extra application. You need an extra program search and you need an extra application in order to get the scholarship. So almost no university spot admission will come with a scholarship to cover the daily living expenses. So please consider that when you're planning, especially your finance, your financial aspect of studying in Europe. For the accommodation, again, our nice triangle system. We have accommodation providers who post, we have students who search, and we have our experts to consult the students in questions like, okay, I have an admission to a university in France. It's called Aix-Marseille. This is in two places, two cities that are not far from each other, but on which campus am I going to be? What kind of accommodation should I take? Is this a normal price for France or is this rather expensive? And so on. So you see, instead of browsing for hours and asking yourself whether this is really a good deal, you can simply use our offers and we can consult you on it. Also on general questions of accommodation, of course. This is a very comfortable option. And the visa support option is something that many, many students actually demand, whether for higher education or internships also. The Assisted mobile app offers services to support all your visa-related requirements from A to Z. You can get all the information from visa procedures to documents, interviews, and more. You can talk to our experts virtually and get step-by-step assistance in your visa process. Very well noted. We can help you with these questions. Which type of visa am I going to need? Where can I apply? How can I crack the visa interview? Is this insurance that I'm going to buy correct? And so on and so forth. We can help you with that. We cannot help you if you do not have an invitation letter by a European university or an internship company. You'll need a work contract or an admission from a university in order to be able to apply for a visa. So, of course, we wouldn't be able to get you that invitation. We would be able to help you with the admission and so on, that's clear. But we can't do magic. A little bit we can, but not for visa invitations. Now I'm closing the circle. YUF, your Unifinder, offers an artificial intelligence-powered system that ensures that you do not wonder about the possibilities of admission, but get a definite picture as to which specific universities you are eligible and how you can proceed with the admission process. We predict, by analyzing the data of next to 500 plus higher education institutions, to predict to which universities you are likely to be admitted with your personal qualification record. YUF supports you through the application process and makes sure that your application reaches the university of your choice in time and in the right quality. With YUF, succeed and enroll in one of Europe's excellent academic environments and benefit from high-quality higher education, living conditions, and very, very positive prospects on your future career and life. That sounds good, right? So this is where you can find us. The actually most comfortable and best variety to get in touch with us is via the app. So please make sure to download it if you're able to do that. If, for example, you have an iPhone, you can't download it yet, then visit us at our website where you can get equal access to all of this information and the service features. Okay. Now, my part is to thank all of you for listening, for your patience, to wish you good luck and a good search. And I'll be available for the next 20 minutes if you have any questions, concerns, want background information, and so on. I'm going to do my very best to answer your questions to you. If you have to think a little bit about it or your questions are private or whatsoever, you can always contact the team at the email address that was shown to you via our website. Thanks a lot for listening, and I'll happily wait for your questions. Okay, Agi. Hi, is 3-year bachelor's accepted for masters in management? Yes, definitely. 3 years masters is the standard, 3 plus 2 years. Although I must say in the UK, and I don't know exactly about the US, it is quite common to accept master applications from other fields of studies. In continental Europe, it's mostly consecutive master programs. So for a master's in management, you would have to have a bachelor in a related field, either business or management or economics and things like that. You couldn't have, for example, a bachelor program, a bachelor degree in English philology. That's not possible. Only in certain executive but very, very expensive programs. Okay, kindly explain about internship. Do university assist for internship? Milena, okay, thank you very much for your question. This varies a little bit from study program to study program. So please make sure if you browse the lists that you read the study content exactly, because there will be many study programs. Normally for masters, it takes 2 years, that include an internship of at least 3 up to 6 months, so 1 semester during the study program. It differs a little bit, it varies a little bit. So there are universities and programs that actually offer this service, that they say, okay, if you apply to this program, you have a guaranteed internship spot with VW or with whatever, because we cooperate with this certain company. This is the minority of the programs. The majority of the programs will have a mandatory internship, so an obligatory internship, and will have connections and addresses and networks where the students normally go, and the students will have to apply themselves. So they will not be placed by the university, but they will be given close advice where to find the internships. It's actually not a big problem. How many years of gap after bachelor's is acceptable? Oh, there is no official limit. Your bachelor certificate doesn't expire. There's no problem. I mean, and there's also there's also no age limit for European study programs. It wouldn't be allowed. No discrimination. So that's no problem. How much will it cost approximately for dorms in Germany? It depends a little bit on the region. So in, let's say, smaller towns, in not so expensive regions, it starts from 180 euros per month for a shared, for a room, not a shared room, a single room. We do not have shared rooms. The system doesn't really exist in Germany. But shared bathrooms and shared kitchen with 180 euros if you're in a smaller town, with 220 euros if you are in a bigger town. And you have to take, sorry, you have to take care about the accommodation issue very, very early. Depending a bit on where you go, but for example, if you go to Munich or Berlin, it's extremely difficult to find something. If you go to the excellent technical universities in Eastern Germany, for example, Cottbus or TU Dresden, it will be a lot easier to find accommodation. Agatha, may I know what's the minimum marks percentage and other requirements to get admitted for engineering programs in public universities? Very good question, Agatha. It's not one general rule. So in Germany, for example, but also in Austria and Switzerland, you will find the general admission requirement being a bachelor in a related field. So basically, if you have that bachelor, you can be admitted. And then there are universities that are very highly demanded that put a so-called numerus clausus, so a GPA plus the bachelor requirement. And this can range from very low to very high. So this is exactly why we developed this tool, because there are many universities in Austria, Germany, and Switzerland who do not require a certain GPA, who just have the basic requirement, okay, bachelor in a related field, and that's it. But you really have to search where they are. Yeah, and other requirements, it's mostly really the bachelor in a related field, and then a certain amount of school years. Of course, you have to check before whether your bachelor degree is acknowledged, because there might be some institutions that are not acknowledged as official higher education institutions by the German government authorities or the Austrian government authorities. But other than that, there are no special requirements, except for, of course, the language requirements, which also vary from university to university. There's no general rule. So also there, I would strongly encourage you to filter the offers according to the language requirements. Ashley, do the students have to write any licensing exam to practice as a professional engineer in Europe? Mm, if you graduate from a European university, together with all the other regular students, no, there is no additional licensing exam. You can practice directly in the country where you studied, but also in the other European countries. What are the job perspective for the student who comes on a spouse visa? This her or her spouse can also work in Europe. Mm, it depends. I am a bit hesitant to. I mean, I can't guarantee you that this answer comprises all of the necessary features and aspects, because different countries might handle that a bit differently. It depends on the spouse's qualification. So if the spouse's qualification, it might take a while, and if the spouse's qualifications, for example, are also recognized, the spouse is a nurse or a qualified accountant or whatever, she or he can have the qualifications recognized and then also work. If it's a spouse without language knowledge and without a qualification record, it might be difficult. Can I check my profile eligibility in your app? Yeah, that's what the app is for. Very excited if you try that out, Agatha, and you can then see a very clear list of universities where you would be eligible to be admitted to. What's blue card? Sorry, Aggie, I don't really understand your question. This the residence permit, you mean? So what exactly would be your questions? Like how to get a permanent residence permit in Europe? So maybe, Agi, you can be so kind and put the question again in the chat, a bit more detailed, so that I can answer it. Okay, I can see the next question in the chat, actually, from Robin. Is on bachelor's degree programs. Okay, so what's the question then? Go ahead, you can ask also about bachelor degree programs. In general, bachelor degree programs. Okay, we'll stick to Ruben's question for a second with the bachelor degree. In general, the challenge about bachelor program admissions is the language requirement. So you can filter our app. In our app, whether you find bachelor programs offered in German, in English, unless you have a very high knowledge of German, a B2 level would be enough. A B2 level according to the Common European Framework Reference of Languages. But other than that, you'd have to really find the few English taught bachelor programs, or go to an English-speaking country where they would charge high tuition fees to international students, I fear. Yeah, but if you have any specific question about a bachelor program, like in which field or how are the rules for that specific country, this can also be asked in the app. You can ask me directly. I don't know the rules of all the 27 European countries, plus those outside the European Union, but still, you're always welcome to ask that. Which countries in Europe allow the maximum age gap for applying in master? Actually, there is no. As I said already too. Was it you, Ashley? That's really no problem. Your bachelor degree doesn't expire. There might be some professional master degrees that require a certain work experience, where it's really a requirement to have that work experience. But most of the normal consecutive master's programs don't have like an expiry date, like your bachelor can only be 7 years ago and so on. It's not necessarily the case. I wouldn't know of anything like that. We can research that, but there's no problem with that. What are opportunities for engineering students? You mean study opportunities, financial opportunities? There are a lot of engineering opportunities or engineering studies opportunities all over the continent. I've just mentioned a few of them in the presentation. So if you want to see for your profile, for your wish of specialization, for your endeavor, maybe you already know what country you would like to go to. I'd really strongly recommend you to download the app and filter, because you can exactly then find out what matches your qualifications. Yeah, Louise. Okay? For MBA programs, we need work experiences. Okay, that's about MBA. Yes and no. We'd have to browse with you through the options. And there are certainly executive MBA programs that might also be very, very expensive for senior executives, for example, that certainly require job experience. But there are also MBA programs that you can do directly after graduating from your BA. MBA programs are a cost factor, though. I must admit that. It's you can find programs taught in English with low tuition fees in management, but real complete MBA programs would be difficult. Is there any wage limits a certain for international student for part-time job in European countries? No, there's no wage limit. Lucky you if you find a job that is very, very well paid. Go ahead. There's a limit on the hours that you can work on your visa. And there is a limit in some countries on the days that you can work per semester or per year. But for the wage itself, there's no limit. On the contrary, there is a minimum of wage. For example, in Germany, it is €9.60, I think. So you cannot be paid below that. And in Germany, it is, I can't exactly tell you, but it's something like 10 hours a week that you can easily work as an international student. And during the semester holidays, even more. What is excluded on most of the visa statuses, unless you have a special visa status, is to found your own company. So to say, okay, I'm a very good cooker or a very good broker or whatever, and now found my own company in the European country where I'm going to, will in most of the cases not be possible. So the study visa will not permit you to become an entrepreneur or to found your own enterprise in the country. May I know the job placement options in Germany after studying engineering courses? Oh yeah. Yeah, you'll be hired right away, I guess. I mean, in technical universities, the links to the industry are quite tight. So there might be corporations, but there's in most of the cases no obligation. There are only some very few programs, but they are in a different system, where you can have automatically your employment after. But engineers are in very high demand, so I think it takes less than 2 weeks to find a job. You'll be very demanded, especially, by the way, if you learn German during your studies, or in other countries French or Italian. If you learn the local language, then it will be a lot easier to find a job. You will have a tolerance time of 2 years to find an adequate job after graduating. That will be the visa status. Okay. So we have 4 more minutes to go, maybe 3 minutes. I can still answer a few. Okay, Fiona would like to know, when is the next intake option for engineering programs? So usually the German semester, we are the last to start. That's always in October. So application deadlines will be next May, and in the intake will be next October. Other countries start earlier. Sweden is the first country to start in August, so they have an early application deadline. Tech team, maybe you can help me with that. But I think in January, March is the first application deadline. So it's the perfect time to prepare now for an application to start in the winter semester, in the winter fall term 2022. There is at some universities in Germany a spring intake, and the application deadlines would be rather now with maybe until the end of November, some of them to begin studies in the beginning of April. That's in Germany. I think for the other countries, I'm not sure whether there are spring intakes and the deadline might be over. So I think the next very realistic point of time to start studying in Europe is fall 2022. Loris, is German language mandatory for a part-time job? Basically, no. It's no requirement with your visa. Once you're admitted, you get the work permission. Of course, you'll have to find a job. You have an employer to take you. And for example, here in Berlin, in the big cities, it's not a problem to find a job if you speak only English. It depends also a bit on your other qualifications, of course. Like if you're an IT software engineer already from your BA, you'll have 10 job offers tomorrow. Also, if you only speak English. If you have a bachelor in archaeology and do not speak German, it might be a bit more difficult. But basically, it's no requirement. It just depends on the job opportunities. It's easier, though, to find part-time jobs if you have very good pre-qualifications or German. But I also know many students who, for example, here in Germany work for international call centers, who don't speak a word of German but speak 2, 3 other languages, and then work in these call centers to do the customer support in the other languages. So if you're a bit creative, talented, gifted, have some pre-qualifications, or are very flexible, normally there should be work to find. There's quite a high demand. Many companies now, after COVID, desperately seeking, for example, in restaurants, bars, and supermarkets for service stuff. Um, and I mean, a little bit of basic German is also to be learned quite easily. So I think this is not a problem. Okay, guys. It's 14 p.m. now. We're going to close the session. We have prepared a very last video for you. Tech team, if you could be so kind to play it. And I'll say goodbye and all the best for your way to Europe. I hope to see all of you here very soon.